What is up, my friends? How's it going? So today we're going to be working on a Nintendo Switch Lite. Let's just check out the board here. We got a problem with our USB-C port, as always. As you probably noticed by the video, USB-C ports do have issues, and this one is clearly one of them. So, without further ado, let's check it out under the microscope. Let's turn around. Nothing. Whoa. Now, I don't know about you, but there's not even something to catch the USB-C port. So let's take it off, okay? Let's just get right into it. Put some flux on there. I totally forgot to put it on my little holder I bought from China, the land of the rising sun. Yeah, I just bought this little magnetic thing, testing it out, see if it, see if it's good or if it's not. Always gotta test everything here, you know how it goes. Get on there good, and let's go back to the microscope camera. Okay, we're gonna put some of that low melt solder on there because low melt solder helps get the USB-C port off the board a lot easier, a lot less heat, a lot less damage. And we got a little piece of plastic right there on that right, so gotta be careful about that. Let's get it on there pretty good. All right. Yep. Gonna have to turn it around. Okay. Alright, let's get the other side with some low melt solder. Let's try to get everything on there. Don't forget the flux. Don't forget it, Tony. You better not forget. Because I didn't forget. Alright. The fancy version. The fancy way to do it. It's like I'm holding a little teacup. A miniature teacup. Holding that low melt solder and the little tweezers. Come on, get some more flux on there. Got to get in that middle there. So we're using the micro pencil here just to get that middle part of the connector. It's pretty much so you can rotate your USB-C port both ways and it'll charge it on both ends, and also transfer data, of course. So like to definitely make sure that that's coated in low melt solder because we don't want to be ripping those pads off. If we rip off the pads, especially the ones inside, it makes the job so much more difficult. And we don't want that. So let's take it off with some hot air, max heat, max air, biggest nozzle. It should just fall right off the board. I just like to give it a little bit of a nudge, but there we go. Smoking. Let's put it aside. Let's just get some more flux on there and take it off with our solder wick. Let's take it off really quick. Alright. Let's get that last one here. See, I don't like how it moves. See, because it's like a magnetic board, it's not planted on there super well, so like I said, I'm just testing it out. See if it works out for me, but it's okay. It's okay. Thus far. Better than nothing. Let's get the front. Get some nice new flux on there and do the same exact thing. You see how I was able to take it off so cleanly? And because I did it from behind? I didn't even damage that plastic connector right there on the top right. Let's get these little... Right. Let's clean it up really quick. Get all that burnt flux off of there. And put some nice new clean flux. I'm so glad I didn't rip off any of those pads because they're so simple, so easy to rip off on this machine. Just put a little bit too much solder, so just like to make sure it's a low amount of solder, but still definitely some solder on there. So it's gonna catch that new USB-C port pins on there just fine. Yeah, and same thing we do, same thing to the top. Alright. And here is our new USB-C port. Now before we put it on, we definitely need to prep it. Okay, so you just gotta pull these up, pull these pins up, just because just want to make sure that it makes a really good contact with the other side. So like I said, I don't want to put this machine all back together and it doesn't make good contact, and then I gotta do it, pretty much like do the whole job all over again, kind of like reflowing it. Just put a little bit of flux on there. And we're gonna put a little bit of solder, just so they both have solder. You know, they both have something to stick to one another. Not too much, just enough. It's looking good. Now let's get it planted on the board. Okay. I'm just gonna hold it a little bit. I'm just gonna hold it a little bit and put some hotter on there. Try to get it planted on there pretty well. Alright. Okay, now let's check all the pins, see if they don't move. Yeah, I got a couple stragglers there. So I'm gonna put some more flux and do it a little manually now. Just needs to have a little bit more solder on there. Okay. It's like I want to put enough solder on there just so it has a really solid connection. Not too much, but definitely not too little. Because if you put too much, then it gets underneath it and it makes a big mess. Now we're checking everything. Looks good. It's perfect. Okay, flipped it over. I have to kind of push it if I can. I think I'm a little bit too far in. Yeah, I don't feel super confident about that though. Yeah. So I'm gonna like heat it up a little bit more. Just a tad. Just to make sure that those inside pins are really touching the pads. Prop that up a little bit. Up the other end. Perfect. And push it down. Push it down firmly. Just make sure it's all, everything's touching, and it's going to be a great port. Because that's what we do. Okay, sounds good. Now let's get those the structural soldering done. Yeah, we got to do this part. And obviously it still goes to ground too, so it also adds to your ground for the port, which is definitely necessary. You know, just do this up real quick. Yeah. Not make too big of a deal about it. Just clean it up. Okay, flip it over and clean the other side up. Make sure we're almost ready to rock. I mean, pretty much like we're at the final stages. And then we'll start getting ready to put this thing back in the machine. Just one last time, checking everything, making sure that all those pins are on there solid. Solid like a cue ball. Yeah, it's looking nice. Oh yeah. Yeah, this should be a good. It should be a good machine. All right, let's take it all out. We're gonna put it back in the Nintendo Switch Lite edition really quickly. Hopefully I can do it in a couple seconds. Let's see how fast I do. With the power of video editing, we're gonna put this back in and make it fast. You know it. Come on, baby. Fast, fast, fast. Let's get that connector in there. Let's get that connector in there. There we go, there we go. Just like I was saying. Okay, let's get the other connector. I believe this one goes to LCD. This other connector goes to, I have no idea what it goes to. I can't, maybe the game cartridge? I don't know. Alright. Alright, got audio there. Put audio in there. Let's put the antennas for Wi-Fi and all of your networking stuff. Last part. Let's put this cable. Doesn't want to go. Okay, we'll just put the battery in. Plug the battery in and then put that cable on. It's worst way. Anyways, we got everything back. So now let's just turn it on. See if it works. Nope, not working. Sometimes you need a little kick. When they, same thing with laptops too and MacBooks. You know, they always need a little kick of power first. So let's see what's going on. Also, this battery's probably dead as a door now. Yep, totally right. There we go. Looks like a working machine. All right. So we got that charging symbol. That means it's definitely getting power. There we go. Getting power. Now we got to check if the other side's gonna work too. So let's flip it over. That's why we have that those pins on the inside, as I was mentioning. Okay, let's Yeah? Alright, perfect. Leave it there for a couple minutes and... Alright, we got everything working. Go play Fortnite now. Well, thank you everybody, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and have an absolutely fantastic rest of your night. Good night.